Okay, sixth grade, our objective today is to finish up the matrix concept and skills that we worked on yesterday, go over the matrix homework, and then we are starting chapter 2, which I'll give you guys an overview of chapter 2 in a couple minutes. So starting with the matrix worksheet, a review from yesterday, what are the dimensions of the first matrix? Mary? Good. Dimensions of the first matrix is 2 by 3. What are the dimensions of the second matrix? Emma M? Good. 2 by 3. Can we do that one? Yep. What is this 2 and -3 called in front of the matrix, Justin? Good. These are called scalars. What do you do with them? Why are they there, and what do we do with them, Annalise? You multiply. Awesome. What is the answer for number 1? Briar. Keep going. This is right, the -13. Justin? I just realized I have the wrong answer up here. Hold on, let's do one matrix at a time. My fault. I'm looking at the wrong one, and I realized I have the wrong answer up here. Okay, let me go back. Justin, tell me what you got after you multiplied the scalar through. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Briar, you might have been right. My fault. Okay, Briar, since you gave me the answer to the second one, did you distribute -3 through or +3? Okay, so then you left it as minus? Okay, go for it. That's fine. What did you get for the second matrix? Good job. Okay, Briar, since you started, give me your answer one more time. Okay, what is 0 minus 12? Yeah, so that should be a -12. That was the only thing that you messed up on. So other than that, you were good. Justin, did you tell me that answer? Pretty close. Okay. So anyways, that's your answer for number 1. Annalise? Yes, but Briar and Justin both took a +3 and distributed +3 through. Remember I told you there's 2 ways to do it yesterday? If you take a +3 and distribute it through, the minus is still there. Okay? There's 2 ways to do it. Regardless of what way you choose, you're going to get the same answer. Raise your hand if you got this one right. Yay, good job. Awesome. Number 2, Doug, what's the answer? Why? Why not? Good job. They are not the same dimension. Okay, they are not the same dimensions. You cannot do it. Emma H., what are the dimensions of the first matrix on number 2? Good, 2 by 2. Alyssa, what are the dimensions on the second matrix? Good, 3 by 2. So what is the rule when you are adding and subtracting matrices? What's the rule from yesterday when you're adding and subtracting matrices, Mary? They need to be the exact same dimension. So anyways, there's a warm-up. That pretty much takes care of what we talked about yesterday. So before we go over homework, any questions on those? Mary? Yes, and that's actually fun. I like to multiply them more than adding and subtracting, but we're just not going to do that yet. It's pretty neat. So yes, that's possible. Okay. Who would like to come up and demonstrate to us? Adam, come on up. We'll start with you. How to do the dot problem. Guys, yesterday you were extremely tired. Today you're being too talkative. Okay, let's watch Adam. Now he can only have 4 lines. You're not supposed to lift your pencil up when you're doing it. It's okay. There's a couple ways to do it, Doug. Don't worry. Okay, but you're only supposed to have 4 lines. You have 5. Go ahead, try to erase it. I know what you meant to do, but He knows what he needs to fix. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. That's how I did it. But of course your lines need to be straight. No, you're good. Good job. Okay, I'm gonna have someone else come up and demonstrate it. Hey. Oh yeah. Here, you can take this. I'm gonna email your mom back. Yeah. You don't have to do remediation B. Remember, it's not highlighted on your paper. Oh. So you don't have to do that. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks.
So you're good. You're welcome. Okay, Adam, do you mind if I erase yours? Okay, Emma H., did you do yours a little bit differently? You did the same? Did anyone do it a little bit differently? Donatus? Okay. Was it the same? Zach? You knew it a different way. Okay. Let me have you. Okay, Zach, come on up. You can show us. Hold on, I lost the dot. Put that back down. Let me just put that back. I lost the dot. Okay, you can come up, Zach. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, just a different way. Just make sure that this is straight. You know what I mean? Yeah, that works. Well, they should be straight. Donatus, did you go on YouTube to figure this out? Okay. Okay. Very good job. So that was just something for fun. You guys know that had nothing to do with matrices. It was in your Chapter 1 homework packet, so I figured it'd be a good challenge to try. Raise your hand if you got it. The 4-dot problem, did you get it? Okay. All right. Okay, let's go over the matrix homework solutions. Doug, is this a question? Okay, let's wait a second for that, okay? Mary, is this a question? Do you mean to the dot one? Not that I know of, no. I just was curious if you guys found any. Matt? That's okay, we'll go over that today. Okay, Dyer, number 1 on the matrix homework. Oh, did you do it on yours or? Okay. Okay, if you figure out the extreme zigzag, I'd be interested to see that. And I'll try to figure it out too. Okay, number 1, Emma M. Good. Number 2, Jeremy. Good. Briar, number 3. Good. 1 by 5. Number 4, Mary. Good. Charles, number 5. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, you got it. 2 by 6. Good job. Number 6, Alyssa. Good. 1 by 4. So make sure your dimensions are checked for 1 through 6. Number 7, just reading across, Justin. What did you get? Great job. Number 8, Sean, reading across. Yep. Great job. Number 9, Annalise. -8 and 2, but yes. Number 10 should be 2, 4, -10, -36. Number 11, -16, 6, -8, 30. Charles? Yeah, yeah. Who would like to tell us 12 while we're waiting here for a second? Emma H, 12. Great job. 13 should be 28, 8, 12, -4, 4, 20. Mary? Okay, so you just messed up on this one right here. Do you want me to show you how to do that? Or tell you? So you have, after you distribute the 6 through to the middle term, so you have -6 plus 2 times 8 is 16. So -6, or sorry, -6 plus 16 is 10. You see how I got that? Doug, don't yell out. Mary, do you see the first one? Do you see where I'm looking? Okay. I'm just distributing mentally out loud instead of writing it down. If you take that 6 times the middle and then 2 times the middle, do you see how I got 10? Okay. Okay. You know what? Sometimes it's just a multiplication error or an adding or subtracting error. Just take your time. Okay, 14. So all you had to do here was look at the triangle and put a 1 wherever there's a vertex. So Charles, do you think you have the answer to 14? Okay, let me make my matrix. Okay, Charles, what did you get for the first row? Good. Next one. Okay. Last row. Okay, so Charles, can you explain to us for the first one, why for triangle A, B, C? How did you get that? Great job. I agree. So there's a little trick. If you look at the diagram though, so they ask us first about triangle ABC. Triangle ABC has 3 vertices, the A, the B, and the C. So that's why there's all 1s there. The A, the B, and the C are all a vertex. The D and the E are not. Kind of common sense because it's triangle ABC. So whatever the triangle is, such as in the second one, ACD, look, ACD. Whatever the name of the triangle is, that's where a vertex is. It's kind of a little shortcut. Okay, any questions on any of the 14 matrix problems? Sure? Okay. If you're okay, put that away. And I need you to take out your new note packet. Please make sure your first and last name is on both packets, the purple and the green. Briar? Oh, I'll take that. Thank you. And just a reminder, guys, anytime you're absent and you need to give me absent work, make sure you remember to show it to me the day that you're back so I can record that and put that into the grade book. Okay, while you're taking out your new Chapter 2 packet, which is a purple note packet, this chapter is titled Solving Equations. So who can remind us what's the difference between an equation and an expression? Justin. Good job. An equation has an equal sign, an expression does not. Chapters 2 and 3 of this book go together. I actually could probably merge the chapters together. That's how much they are alike. Chapter 2 introduces you to what an equation is and how to solve a one-step, two-step, and a multi-step equation. Chapter 3, the equations get harder. 2 and 3 are very important to your foundation of solving anything in algebra, okay, anything in math. We are going to start off with lesson 2.1, which is the properties. So if you open your note packet to the first page, the objective is to use properties of addition and multiplication. So some of you guys already know a lot of these, and you've heard of them. So does anyone remember what a property of addition or multiplication is? Annalise? Yeah. Good. Good. Very good. One of them is the commutative property. You can add numbers in any order and you still get the same answer. Justin, what's another one? Good. The zero property. Anything times 0 is 0 is an example of that. There's a couple ways to say it, but that's one way to say it. Alyssa? What is the identity property? Good. You multiply something by 1 and you still get itself. Awesome. So that's basically what we're doing. Mary, do you know one more before we start? Good. The associative property. Do you know what it says? Good job. You can group numbers in any way. The way you group them doesn't matter. You still get the same result. Okay. So let's start with, and these are a little bit small. I'm going to shut the light off so you guys can see a little bit better. So this is the commutative property of addition. This entire chart, just so you guys are aware of what we're doing right now, are all properties of addition. So when you get to geometry, your geometry teacher will have you abbreviate it as POA, okay? Property of addition. So this is the commutative POA, property of addition. Above where it says property, I want you to write POA. I don't even know how we could say that. POA, just an abbreviation for property of addition. So what this says is the order in which you add two numbers does not change the sum. For example, 3 plus -2 is the same thing as -3 plus 2. Using variables, a plus b is the same thing as b plus a. So commutative POA. Make sure you have POA at the top of property so you know it's the property of addition. Okay, second one is the associative property. Associative property, and again, put POA. It's the property of addition instead of just property. The way you group three numbers in a sum does not change the sum. So the way you group numbers does not matter. It's not going to change the sum. Associative POA. Using numbers. Remember, grouping symbols can be anything. Parentheses, brackets, braces. So we have -3 plus 2 in parentheses plus 1 is the same thing as -3 plus in parentheses 2 plus 1. Using variables, a plus b in parentheses plus c is the same thing as a plus, in parentheses, b plus c. Mary? Yes, definitely. Yep. For some reason, though, all the examples you guys will see will always have 3 numbers or 3 variables, but yes, it can be used with more. Yes, great point there. So associative, if you haven't learned this yet, I always like to think of this as when you associate with people or when you associate with your friends, you guys are grouped together. So think of associating with something else in life other than numbers, that you're grouping with them. Okay, associative property always talks about the way you group numbers, whether it's multiplication or addition. This one just happens to be property of addition. Identity property. I always think of that movie, Born Identity. The sum of a number and 0 is the number. If we add 0 to any of you in this room, are you going to change your identity? No. We're adding 0 to you. Nothing's changing. The sum of a number and 0 is that number. For example, -5 plus 0 is -5. Could also say a plus 0 is the same thing as 0 plus a, which is a. When you add 0 to anything, you still get that number. You guys will have a quiz halfway through this chapter, and I'll have examples of properties listed. You'll have to match them with the correct property. So these are important to know. Okay, last one on this page is the inverse property, which none of you guys said this one. Maybe you've heard of it, you just maybe forgot about it or didn't say it. The inverse property is when you have opposites and you are adding them. The sum of a number and its opposite is 0. The sum of a number and its opposite is 0. For example, -6 plus 6 is 0. A plus negative A, which is the same thing as negative A plus A, is 0. So the inverse property, the sum of a number and its opposite is 0. When you finish that, I want you to try to complete letters A through D below. When you finish that, try without looking to complete letters A through D below. And these are all property of addition. When you're done, when you try to do letters A through D, try without looking at the notes if you can. Just hang out for a minute, 30 seconds. You gotta do that before class, okay? Okay, letter A. What are we filling in for this, and what property is this, Adam? Good job. Good job. When you add opposites, you get 0. So we're filling in 0.3. We get inverse property. Emma M., what's the next one? Good job. -9. Commutative. Property of addition, which you may abbreviate as POA. The order you add numbers does not matter. So that's why that one is the commutative property. Sean, what about the next one? Good. And what is this one? Good job. Associative property of addition. The way you group numbers does not matter. This goes for addition and multiplication. Okay, what about the last one, Matt? Good job. 0. Anytime you add 0 to something, you get itself. -15 plus 0 is -15. You add 0 to something, you get itself. Doug? That works. You could also think it means ID. It means you. So you're not changing that number. It's your identity. It's the number's identity. It's not changing if you add 0 to it. How do you guys think the identity property would work in multiplication? So a number times what is itself, Briar? That's the 0 property of multiplication. What would be the identity property of multiplication? Zach, what do you think? Yep. So it's similar, but instead of adding 0 or multiplying 0, you have to multiply 1. So you still get itself. Emma M? Is your throat hurting you? Go ahead, Doug. When she's done, you can go. But try, you guys, to do that before class. You sure, Doug? Okay, go ahead and flip your notes over. Let's look at example 1 at the top. Okay, so it says here, you buy a portable CD player for $48. This is an outdated problem. Rechargeable batteries with a charger for $25 and a CD case for $12. Find the total cost and identify the properties of addition used. So, first of all, there's 3 items we bought, right? So I want you guys to put total cost, and then we have CD player plus batteries plus a case. So we need to find the total cost. We know the CD player is $48. We know the batteries are $25 and the case is $12. What is the answer first? And then we'll talk about what properties we could use here. Justin? Close. A little more. Doug? 85. So $85 is the total cost that you would spend on all 3 of these items. What's a property that we could use, or that maybe you did use? Adam? Yep, you could use commutative or associative. Explain how you could use the commutative. Yep, the order you add them doesn't matter. Okay. Right. Right, but you still could. Now, associative, like Adam just started to say, is you can group the numbers however you want. You still get the same answer. What would make it easiest for you guys to solve this mentally? What 2 numbers could you group together to make it a little bit easier? Sean? Yeah, why? I agree with you, but why? Exactly. If you add the 48 and 12, you get 60. 60 is easy to add anything to, right? It's a nice even number. You know, whether you're really good at mental math or not, that makes it super easy. Did anyone group them differently? Mary? Okay. So associative or commutative properties work there. Okay, any questions on that? Okay, one more set of properties. Okay, these ones are POM, property of multiplication. So that goes for all of these. They are pretty much the same, but now we are referring to them as property of multiplication. Emma H? I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Commutative, POM, P-O-M, property of multiplication. Just like addition, the order in which you multiply 2 numbers does not change the product. So just like commutative POA was, the order in which you add them does not matter. This one is the order in which you multiply them does not change the product. And you can shorten these definitions if you need to. Lots of writing today, sorry. 8 times 3 is the same thing as 3 times 8. Just like using variables, x times y is the same thing as y times x. Bless you. Okay, associative POM, the way you group 3 numbers in a product does not change the product. Associative POM, POM, the way you group 3 numbers in a product does not change the product. Just like associative property of addition, the way you group numbers does not matter. It does not change things. For example, using numbers, 3 times 10 times 4, we're grouping the 3 times 10, is the same thing as 3 times group the 10 times 4. The algebraic representation, your book always likes to use variables as well, so you know how to make an example using both numbers and variables. You can use any letters that you want. Doesn't have to be what I used. Okay, next one. Identity property of multiplication. So identity POM, P-O-M. The product of a number and 1 is that number. So we already talked about this one. The product of a number and 1 is that number. You still have itself. For example, 4 times 1 is 4, or Q times 1 is Q. So identity POM. The product of a number and 1 is that number. Matt. Mary. Yeah, that's fine with me. Yep, in order, if that doesn't matter, you could even have 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 8 is 8. For identity, yes. And I'm going to get to that one in a second. So yes, very good point there. Yes. Yeah, division is where the 0 gets to be a little weird, which we will talk about this year. Mary? Right, it would be. Still is itself. You could consider that. However, well, actually, in 2 properties, I'm going to talk more about 0. So the next one, in your notes, it says multiplicative property of 0. That's a mistake. The next one should say multiplicative property of -1. Oh, it does? Oh, you're good then. My notes are different than yours then. You're good. So the next one, we can either call it, thank you, Charles, property of -1, or we can call it the multiplicative property of -1. It does not matter. You will see it written both ways. So I'll say that again. The next one you will see as property of -1, or you'll see it as the multiplicative property of -1. Sean? Yes. Yes, write this in the property of -1. Oh, I was right. Yeah, Charles, what I meant is that do you see how it says multiplicative property of 0? I wanted you to change that to -1. Right, that's a mistake too. Don't worry about it. You guys can write it where it says property of -1. You're good. You're good. There was a mistake in the note packet. You're good. So again, we can call this either property of -1, or you can call it the multiplicative property of -1. Typically, we'll call it the property of multiplication of -1, or the -1 property of multiplication. All this says is the product of a number and -1 is the opposite of the number. So I'll say that again. The product of a number and -1 is the opposite of a number. For example, 2 times -1 is -2. Negative x times -1 is x. So if you multiply something by -1, you get the opposite of that number. Okay, so when you guys are done writing that, I want you to cross off where it says the multiplicative property of 0, cross that off, and change that to property of 0. So the last one should be the property of 0. So cross it off and change that to property of 0. Sorry about the mistake there. Yep, change it to, or that's fine. Yeah, you can cross off multiplicative and just use property of 0. This says the product of a number and 0 is 0. So 4 times 0 is 0. B times 0 is 0. So this one I think is the common sense one if the other ones are not to you. Property of 0. When you multiply something by 0, you get 0. When you're done with that, I want you to try letters A through D. actually A through E on your own. Right, I told you to fix it. Okay, make sure you change this to the property of, change that to -1. And then that needs to be changed to 0. Okay. When you guys are done, I want you to try A through E. I'll give you about a minute or two. Make sure you shut the example. Let's not tap shoes, guys. Sounds like we're making a math song. So when you're done, try A through E. As you guys are writing, do you agree with me this lesson's not too bad? Yeah, just a lot of writing and definitions. The rest of the chapter is not like this. Jeremy, you done? Okay, I'll come back to that. Okay. Okay, let's go over A through E. Letter A, Briar, what did you fill in? Good. And what property is this? Good. 0 property of multiplication. You can also say 0 POM. What about letter B? Emma M. Good. Filling in B, this is the identity property of multiplication. Anything times 1 is itself. Okay, what about letter C? About letter C? I should have more than just Emma. Donatus, how about letter C? Okay, so what am I filling in? Okay, what is that saying? Okay, which tells us what? Good job. Anything times -1 is the opposite. Mary, what about the next one? Good, so what are we filling in here? Good, and what does that tell us? Great job. The order in which you multiply does not matter. Annalise, the last one. Good job. -2.5. And this is the associative property of multiplication. Annalise, what does that property tell us? Good job. However you group the numbers doesn't matter. It's the associative property of multiplication. Okay, questions on the properties today? Give me a thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down on the properties. Okay, let me let him borrow this for 1 second. Okay, I need you guys to take a look at your homework packet. So we're going to not worry about the rest of those notes for now. Okay, you have 2 assignments, and you also need to get your test signed. So take a look at the very first page in your homework packet, which is 2.1. So let me explain it, but I also want you to look at it first. 17 and 18. Okay, so everyone look at the first page in your homework packet, the green packet. Okay, do you see numbers 1 through 6 where it says justify your steps? Cross that off. I'll say that one more time. Numbers 1 through 6. Cross off where it says justify your steps. Everything on that page you should be able to do right on the worksheet, but show your work. Okay? That first part does, not the rest of it. Okay? The rest of it, since it doesn't say mental math, show your work. Okay, flip over. We did not talk about conversions yet. On the back, cross off 21 through 24. What'd you say? We didn't talk about conversions yet, so if you want to try them, you can. I can do them, but 21 through 24, they can be optional, okay? Because I did not do those with you yet. I like to give you homework on what we did in class. 25, 26, and 27 you are able to do, so try those. Now, is everyone clear on the directions for practice 2.1? Donatus, is this about the directions? You can do that one. You know how many feet are in a yard. That one's not rocket science. Yeah, it's feet and yards. The reason I had you make 21 to 24 optional, we didn't talk about kilometers and meters yet, ounces to pounds, seconds to minutes, even though seconds to minutes is not hard either. Just don't worry about 21 to 24, but 25 is a basic conversion one. Okay, flip to page 36 in your packet, homework packet, page 36. Page 36 has 14 problems. You need to determine whether it's the associative community, identity, inverse, etc., property of addition or property of multiplication. Page 36, you must specifically identify whether it's POA or POM. Briar? No, you don't solve, you just list the property. Sean? Yep. List the properties that we went over today. I want you guys, the worksheet in the book is not very good, so I'd like you guys to have extra practice just so I can make sure you understand the properties. If you need to refer back to your notes, that's fine, just like we did with types of numbers, but at some point you need to make sure that you have the properties memorized so that you know them inside and out. What I am passing out right now is your Chapter 1 test. At the very top of your test, when you get it, put a line that says parent signature. When you get your Chapter 1 test, put a line at the top, and I want it to say parent signature underneath it. You're welcome. Did you guys look at your scores on Progress Book?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, they were on. They've been on there. Did you get the rest of the notes, Jeremy? Okay, so listen up. Shh, listen, Donatus. At the top of your test, put a line. Underneath it, put parent signature. Now, we don't have a lot of time. We don't have any more time today. So what I want to do is I want you to look over it. Get it signed tonight. It's part of your assignment. When you come in tomorrow, I will answer any questions you have. If you think I made a mistake on your test, we'll talk about it tomorrow. That happens sometimes. Tomorrow, I will explain how I graded it. Okay? Scores were very good. There were almost all A's, so they were very good. Look over it, make sure you understand. If you missed something, why you missed it, make sure your parents sign it. Are there any questions on your 3 assignments?